Hey there, Lacey here with the Sweet Pea Chef, and welcome to my garage, also known as my new home gym. So the family and I cleared out a bunch of space in our garage. We uncovered some old weights that we had and our bench, and we basically have been making it work in our garage. And so I wanted to kind of show you what we've done. Since Dustin and I already were going to the gym like 5 to 6 days a week, it was really necessary to maintain our sanity, our health and well-being, and our exercise level to make it work at home. And so we uncovered a bunch of stuff that we already had that we weren't using, and we put it all together to make a gym in our garage. And a lot of you have been asking for tips on setting up your own home gym and what are my workouts and how do I just even approach a home workout in my gym. So I figured I'd put it all together, invite you into my garage, and we will get this all started. So our typical workout is broken up into 2 different splits. We do a press day and we do a pull day. And the press day targets certain muscle groups that also then get a rest on your pull day, and then vice versa. So on press, you target your chest muscles, your triceps, your quads, your calves, and your shoulders typically. And so we focus on all of those, and then on a pull day, you're gonna focus more on your glutes and your hamstrings and your back and your biceps, and some shoulders and lats on that as well. So our workouts last about 45 to 60 minutes, and that's depending on how heavy the workout is, how much time we have, if the kids interrupt us and we have to go help change a diaper or something, and just our energy level as well. So when we are working out, we're typically getting in about 6 to 8 different exercises in our workout. And I'm typically burning about 300 to 500 calories during that time frame. The awesome thing about weightlifting is that during the next 24 hours after a heavy weightlifting session, you're gonna have a higher metabolism. Your body is basically gonna be trying to regenerate all of that muscle growth. And plus you get to listen to all the birds in the morning and watch the sun come up, which is pretty cool. But whatever time works for you, the idea is that you just wanna get your workout in. You wanna take that time for yourself and really focus on your own well-being, because the more we can keep things normal, the better. For today, I did a press workout, and so I'm gonna walk you through all of the different exercises I did so you can kind of have an understanding for how to approach your own press workout, and you can do this all on your own at home. We also typically try to work out about 3 to 4 days in a row, and then we take a rest day. Typically, our muscles are pretty sore and we're feeling it at that day 3 or day 4, and so we know that we wanna take a break, and then when you start back up, you just take back on whatever last workout you hadn't done. And so like if you did press, pull, your next workout after your rest would be a press. And so just basically alternate it that way. And so that way all of your muscles are getting a lot of attention every week, and they're getting a lot of those reps to get the muscles built. So when I first started working out and doing weightlifting and strength training, that was like 5 years ago, and at that point I didn't use many weights at all. I did a lot of body weight exercises, and so I used my own body weight in order to create that strength training instead of using dumbbells, for example. So fortunately we have a set of dumbbells that I can utilize here, but everything that we're doing today, I'm gonna show you options for what you can do without dumbbells. You can just use your own body weight for resistance, and or you can also use some bands, which I'll show you as well. So what Dustin and I try to do is, once our muscles are warm and you do a warm-up set on a light weight that's not going to injure you, just to get everything moving and your blood pumping, then you target 4 sets of about 12 to 15 reps, depending on how much weight you're doing. You can also do lighter weights and do more reps, like 20 to 25 reps, and that's really going to help you build your endurance. But if you're doing main muscle growth and strength training, you're gonna wanna target anywhere from the 6 to the 12 rep range with heavier weight. Then as you're able to complete those reps without much difficulty, and you can get to 15 and it was pretty easy, then you add in a little bit more weight. Say you can jump from like 10 pounds to 15. Once you can do that, then you jump from 15 to 20 and so on. Like when I first started doing chest press, for example, with dumbbells back like 3 or 4 years ago, I could do 4 sets of 15 reps on a weight like a 20-pound weight. But now I can do that using 45 pounds or 50 pounds. And so it just takes time. It just keeps going. You keep building. It's one of the cool things about this is you can really focus on your own personal competition with yourself, and you can always improve, you can always get better, and you can always get stronger, which is really cool. In addition to using your own body weight for resistance, if you don't have dumbbells or barbell or weights of any sort, there's a lot of things around your house that you can use instead. You can use like milk jugs, water jugs, cooler, just water bottles, anything that feels pretty heavy, that's pretty stable, that isn't gonna shift a lot on you when you are lifting it, because you wanna make sure that you have stability when you're doing it. So what we have in our gym, we have a set of dumbbells, and that ranges from 5 pounds to 50 pounds. We also have some resistance bands, I have a mat, and I have a weight bench. And that's pretty much what we use every day when we are doing our workout. We have plans to add to this and to also clear out more of the garage, but we've already added a few things into the garage, like overhead storage, which has been really awesome because it's allowed us to really clear out a lot of space. But anything is good, and you just need a little bit of space to get started. And resistance bands are really awesome because they're pretty cheap, and you can mimic almost any exercise, and you can target all of the muscle groups with resistance bands that come in sets of different resistance levels, like a lighter resistance versus one that's really hard to maneuver. So it basically, you can cover your whole gambit, and they're like 20 bucks. So I'll leave a link for that for you as well. Those are really helpful, and I used those a lot when I was first getting started. So our typical press workouts in the gym so far have included certain exercises that we repeat each time that we do the press workout, and that way you keep getting better at it, you keep improving your form, and you keep increasing the weight. And those are a dumbbell chest press, walking lunges, dumbbell chest flies, a tricep press, both overhead and close grip, split squats, calf raises, lateral raise, and shoulder press. And for all of those, we're targeting 4 sets of about 12 to 15 reps. In order to maximize our time as well, we do what's called supersetting. So while you're resting one muscle group, like say your chest from your chest press, you can do walking lunges. So that way you're using a completely different muscle group that has already rested, and then you do that and you alternate between those two. That not only gets in more workout for your time, you can get more muscle groups targeted during your workout, and it keeps your heart rate up more. It's also a really great way if you're working out with someone else, you guys can take turns and just alternate with who gets to do what. Then in order to rest, then we switch, and so you're not wasting any time that way. It's really helpful. For chest press, I'm really focusing on my pec muscles, and I really try to engage those muscles before making a movement, and then you use that for your momentum rather than bringing your other muscles into it. Keep your shoulders back onto your flat surface, your abs tight, and your knees straight. If you don't have dumbbells, you can always use something else around your house that is heavy. Another way to work your chest muscles is to do push-ups. You can do push-ups a number of ways, and especially using your body weight. You can use a bench if you have one and just do a modified push-up where you stand shoulder width apart with your feet and you have your abs tight and you push up onto the bench. Or if that's too difficult for you, or if you have back issues, you can also do it against a wall, or you can also do it flat on the ground. The idea here is to keep your abs tight, to make sure you have a straight back and you're not arching your back. You want to make sure that it is nice and flat. And also make sure your arms are shoulder width apart and you're not putting too much stress on your shoulders. Instead, you're using your chest to push through the workout. For lunges, try to keep solid contact with your heel on the ground as you step forward, and push up through your heel as you step up. Really work on keeping your knee out and not having it dive in order to avoid injury. In your garage, you're not going to get as many steps. We try to target about 10 reps per leg. So I have to kind of turn around in my garage and do it. Another way to make it more difficult is to add dumbbells and weights to my sides as I'm walking. Or if you really don't have a lot of space and you don't have a garage and you're like in a living room, you could even do standing lunges, and then you just press back and you stay stationary as you're doing it. Chest flies, I'm focusing on keeping my shoulders back and my abs tight, and I'm pulling through my chest muscles. For my tricep press, I'm really focusing on keeping my elbows in, my shoulders back, my abs tight, and I'm really extending my arms as far as I can and tightening at the end in order to get that tricep burn. For anything you do on a bench, you should be able to use those resistance bands as well. Like for tricep press, you can just place the band underneath your bench, or whatever you're using, you can always just find a way. You can even put it under your back and lay on it and press, and then you can just use that instead of dumbbells if you don't have any dumbbells. These resistance bands, you'll see, are really, really versatile, and you can use them for a number of different things. For split squats, you're gonna wanna use something that is pretty high for your leg to rest on. Typically, you're gonna want it to be about 2 feet high. I use my bench, but you can also use anything you have available. Like if you have a cooler, you could use that. You could use the corner of your couch. So I want the majority of my weight on the front leg, not the leg that is up. And I'm making sure my legs are shoulder width apart, and my knee, as I bend it, bends out rather than diving inward. For calf raises, you can just go flat-footed and then press up onto the ball of your foot, or to make it a little bit more difficult and go to like a corner edge where you have a little bit more give below, and you put the ball of your foot at the one elevation and then you go down lower. A step would work for this, or you can put your toes on a book or something else that will allow you to basically have a little bit more range of motion with your movement. If you also find that that gets really easy, you can always add weights to that one as well. For lateral raises, I am trying to make sure my arms come out to be parallel. I don't go too high and injure my shoulder. I want to come out and make a complete T, and I'm using my shoulder muscles to do that rather than trying to pull everything up with my biceps or my tricep. For your shoulder workouts, you're gonna wanna use lighter weights because your shoulders are not very strong on their own. So typically I start out with like 5 to 10 pounds for shoulder press, and for lateral raises, anything that targets my shoulders. I personally have an issue with injuring my shoulders, so I'm always tentative to go heavy, but it's also very difficult to control just your shoulder muscle with a heavier weight. So for shoulder press, I'm really focusing on keeping a straight back and face forward, abs tight, and then pressing through and squeezing right at the end, trying to extend all the way to the sky as I straighten my arms, and then coming down, but not coming down all the way, just coming down so that my shoulder and my elbow are parallel. And for all of these workouts, you're really gonna wanna think about what muscle group you're targeting for each workout, and then really focus on that muscle group to have that mind-muscle connection. You don't have to go super heavy as long as you are focusing on that pinch and that connection and really getting that burn in that muscle group. Over time, that'll really, really help. And the focus on good form is gonna be really, really helpful versus just going heavy. I used to go super heavy and try to push through things, and I would bring all sorts of muscles into it. I would always hurt my shoulder, but now I've learned that it doesn't have to be heavy, it just has to be controlled and with good form. Many of you have asked if I eat before my workouts, and if you've watched my What I Eat in a Day intermittent fasting video, you know that I have a fasted workout. So when we wake up, I have some water right away, and then I do my workout. And I don't typically have my first meal until like around 11 o'clock, and I do that for a number of reasons. One is I want to use up stored fats for my energy during my workout, and then also I don't particularly like working out with food in my stomach. I feel like it kind of makes me more sluggish, and so if you want to learn more about my reasoning for that, you can check out my video on intermittent fasting as well. Let me know if you like this video, if you want more information on specific workouts, or if you want to see what my pull day workout looks like. And also check out my intermittent fasting What I Eat in a Day so you can see how I use intermittent fasting with my workout schedule. And I'll see you in the next video.